of it. First off, you see these rays of light coming from these light bulbs, and first you have the light source, and the light source is glowing, and all around it is dark. And then you get the light coming out of the light source, and instead of just you actually see how the dust or smoke or whatever's in the air is affecting the light. And this, if used properly in paint, can make light extremely realistic, because light isn't just a bright color coming this way and makes everything brighter where it touches. It actually gets diffracted and it gets spread out, and dust or whatever in the air really changes how the light looks. And so Vermeer used this this how this light changes and fades. Vermeer used this in a lot of his paintings. And again, you see right here, the light's coming from this certain source, and this is where the pinhole could be used. If you put a pinhole right here, you can have where you want your light to go. And that's another reason why people think he used that pinhole. Another thing I want to show about this picture is where the light actually hits. It it makes the where it hits glow, like radiantly glow. And I know like the computer screen might enhance this a little bit, but this picture where this artist's arm literally is glowing because of the contrast between light and dark, and that's what this picture box does. And again, you see on the keyboardists on their keyboard right here, this certain area in their arms, it glows, and this is what Vermeer did in his paintings. On this painting, this one is called The Mistress and Her Maid, the one with the pearls on her hair. Hold this back a little bit. You see where the light's coming in, and just how the light hits her clothing and makes her clothes glow, just like you would see in that painting or in that picture. And again, it hits this paper, and this paper is really glowing. It's very bright and vibrant. And when the light comes in, it hits this table, and it's either Vermeer really understood light, or he used one of these boxes, because light comes in and it hits the table, and normally you would draw the shadow coming from the corner of the table, but the shadow is drawn from below the table, and this shows a greater understanding that the light's coming more up top, hitting this instead of coming off the corner of the table. And so that's just the way Vermeer used light. Here's the other painting of the woman weighing pearls, and the light's coming in, and you can see as the light comes in how it fades right here, and how it's brighter right here, just like you would see in that picture. And when it hits the subject, which is this woman, it wherever the light hits her, it glows, and you would get this glowing effect in the picture box, and that's why many people think Vermeer used this. But again, there's no evidence showing that he actually used these. So either he was a genius, which I believe he was, because these are amazing paintings, or he used these, which he could have. Another thing about Vermeer's paintings that really sets him apart is he used this rock called lapis lazuli, and lapis lazuli is also known as ultramarine or true blue. And this is the bluest of the blues. It's bluer than the sky. It's bluer than the ocean. It's as blue as you can get. And this was a rock. It comes from Afghanistan normally, so it's really expensive, and it's considered a precious stone. And so it's very expensive, very rare. Well, not very rare, but it's very hard to come by. But Vermeer used this a lot. And this lapis lazuli or ultramarine is used in a lot of his paintings, and as soon as I show you, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that many times before. And right here in the milkmaid picture, right here, this is ultramarine. This is as blue as you can get. This is one of the things that I love about Vermeer's paintings, is that he used this all the time, and it really sets things apart. He uses combinations of these techniques, the light and the perspective and his colors, and the just everything's just blended together perfectly. And I just love these blues. There's even contrast between each of the blues in here. This blue is so much darker than right above it. It adds a level of realism in these almost like non like traditionally detailed paintings. So Vermeer was an excellent artist at combining all these elements. Um, I'd also like, I'd like to go into a little bit of how, from what we know of Vermeer, how he did his paintings. We don't know exactly how he structured them. We don't know how he started, how he finished, and his progress as he went through. But we know about his paint and about what he kind of liked to do. And it was very well known of him that he was very, very meticulous. And the way he would do paintings is he would do each of his paintings in certain I guess each part of his painting was its own little masterpiece. Instead of you'll see on like a movie, a man has his palette of paints and pigments, and he paints part of his picture, and then he stands back and he looks at his picture, and he looks at his picture at a whole. And Vermeer was not like this. This is not how he painted. Each part of his painting, say with the milkmaid, he would he would he would he would plan out how he would do this bread. He would plan out how he would do this lady's face. He would plan out exactly how this light would go, and each aspect of the painting was its own project. And that's one thing that makes his paintings excellent, is that each aspect of the painting is an individual, and so each individual part of the painting is as beautiful and masterful as the next. And so he had that sort of process for his paintings. Also, his paintings were so saturated in paint that the weaves in the canvas almost aren't even visible, because he added so many layers, and his layers that he added were extremely thin, like super small, super thin layers, one on top of another, and some of them are so thin that you could still see the pigment and the paint below it, which leads some people to believe that he wasn't some of his paintings weren't completely finished. But that's how meticulous and how precise he was in his paintings, and why they are so good, because everything had to be perfect in his paintings. So perfect that he would add such a minuscule amount of paint per layer. And another thing to realize is that back in this age, there wasn't mass-produced paints. All of his pigments, all of his paints had to be ground the day before. Eggs and other organic material was added to their pigments to add certain shine, certain stickiness, certain textures. All this had to do beforehand, and so these were very, very planned out paintings. And the unfortunate thing is that we do not know exactly how he went through this. Um, but my point with all of this and telling you about his paintings is that Vermeer was an amazing, outstanding artist. And what he chose to do, what his favorite subject was the middle class, and the middle class in indoor scenes. And this was something that didn't happen during this time. Most of the paintings um, or most of the paintings before this time were of royalty and rich people that could commission someone to do their art. And Vermeer, because of Vermeer, we have all these wonderful, wonderful paintings of middle class people doing everyday normal activities. And that's one of the reasons I love this artwork. I'm not an art buff. I don't, before, I don't really know that much about art, but I'm learning a lot more. And the more I look at some of these paintings, the more I love it. The more I read about um, Vermeer and Holbein and artists like that, the more amazing that I see this art is. And I just think, as amazing as an artist that Vermeer was, um, I just think it's fascinating and really awesome that he chose the middle class to be his subject. Um, that's all I have on Vermeer for today. I really hope you guys like this video blog. Any comments and suggestions are gladly welcome. So please let me know, and hope you're looking forward to my next vlog. Thanks.